That's right. There is so much good news, so much winning out of the Trump White House right now that the mainstream legacy media can't keep up with it.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, it explodes. Karoline Leavitt has filed yet another lawsuit against The View, and now ABC is in full-blown crisis mode. Whoopi is sweating, Joy Behar is furious, and Sunny Hostin is actually silent for once, because this isn't just some viral argument. This is lawsuit number 2. A legal missile aimed straight at the network and its hosts, and they're falling apart. Sources say the team at The View is rushing through emergency meetings. Sponsors are backing out, and top executives are calling it a disaster that could ruin their reputation. But what exactly did Karoline do this time? And how did one court document shake ABC's entire media empire? You'll want every detail. But before we dive in, do your part. Hit that like button to call out media hypocrisy. Subscribe for the truth bombs the mainstream avoids, and share this with someone who still thinks The View is just harmless daytime TV. Already subscribed? Perfect. Hold on tight. Things are about to get wild. Let's rewind to 72 hours ago, when The View aired another episode. You'd think after getting slapped with an $800 million lawsuit that has Whoopi Goldberg scrambling for legal help, the hosts would play it safe. But no, not even close. Instead of stepping back, thinking it over, or offering a half apology, the ladies went full speed into chaos live on air in front of millions. They mocked Karoline again, shamelessly, cluelessly, and non-stop. Joy Behar, never one to hold back, threw the first jab, calling her Trump's Gen Z talking head. The crowd laughed, the panel nodded, and Sunny Hostin picked up the attack, like a baton in a race, calling the lawsuit a staged GOP trick. Then Whoopi, the center of the legal storm, the same Whoopi whose courtroom tears just went viral, grinned, adjusted her glasses, and dropped the one-liner that sent Karoline's legal team into action. She's lucky we even let her on the show. Cue applause, smug laughs, and proud eye rolls. But what they didn't see coming was the legal avalanche waiting backstage. While the audience loved the sass and producers saw a perfect clip, Karoline's lawyers saw real evidence. They didn't just cross the line. They ran past it. Those digs and playful insults weren't just rude. They were legal weapons. Within hours, Karoline's team was breaking down the footage, reviewing the audio, writing every word, and comparing it to court records. Every moment of that segment became proof leading straight to lawsuit number 2. And let's be clear, this wasn't about hurt feelings. It was about showing that even while being sued, the hosts of The View chose to repeat the exact same behavior, boldly, carelessly, and with zero caution. Then came the thunder. A second lawsuit was filed in federal court like a hammer from the sky. This wasn't just a follow-up, it was a planned hit backed by a strong legal team and a pile of damaging proof. And this time it wasn't just about defamation. It was a direct challenge. Karoline Leavitt wasn't playing defense anymore. She was coming in with full force. The main charge, retaliatory defamation. Meaning, while being sued, they didn't stop. They attacked harder, mocked her more, and tried to destroy her image. The complaint lays it out clearly and sharply. These weren't offhand comments, they were calculated moves to ruin her. The charges include repeated defamation, attempts to scare her, lies told during an ongoing legal battle, career damage, and long-term reputation harm. No soft punches, and this lawsuit doesn't stand alone. It comes with past legal cases to support it. One media law expert quoted in the filing didn't hold back. He said The View's legal defense is so weak, they'd be better off skipping trial and asking Karoline how she wants the money. Check or bank transfer. Harsh, but it gets worse. Karoline's lawyers added expert opinions from media professionals, law scholars, and even a retired federal judge, all saying the same thing: that The View's continued mockery was shockingly dumb for people already fighting a defamation case. Whispers in Hollywood are getting louder. Whoopi might be accidentally starring in her final season. And at ABC, this isn't just a problem, it's a full-blown disaster. Legal red alerts are flashing. The PR team is overwhelmed. Advertisers are pulling out. And what they thought was the worst, the first lawsuit, was just the calm before the storm. Now Karoline's second legal strike has landed, and the flood is rising fast.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, How dare she objectify a woman with a this rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Well said.
The halls of ABC aren't just buzzing anymore, they're burning. According to multiple insiders, the studio of The View has turned into an emotional war zone. And here's the twist. It's not Karoline Leavitt pouring gasoline on the fire. It's the very hosts who mocked her live on air, now standing in the ruins of their own mess, watching their empire fall apart from the inside. Within 48 hours of Karoline's second lawsuit, everything backstage collapsed. This wasn't gossip or nerves, it was pure chaos. Producers, usually calm and focused, are reportedly furious, and not at Karoline or her legal team, but at their own on-air talent. One longtime producer is said to have snapped during a post-show meeting, slamming a folder and yelling, "This is what happens when no one listens." Staff say the tension wasn't just in the air. It was in the walls. And can you blame them? This wasn't just one lawsuit anymore, it was two, both threatening the show's reputation, viewer trust, and advertiser money. Then came the bombshell. A leaked internal memo, verified by two independent sources, made everything clear. The panel had been told to avoid controversial comments about the case, but they didn't listen. That one line sums up the entire disaster. ABC didn't walk into this blindly. They saw the signs, gave warnings, and still, Joy made jokes, Sunny dismissed the issue, and Whoopi smiled her way into a second lawsuit. Now ABC is in emergency mode. Sponsors are disappearing, legal teams are demanding constant updates. Producers are digging through transcripts, emails, and video clips like they're gathering evidence for trial. The mood on set is rock bottom. One staffer, speaking off the record, said it straight. "We used to joke about lawsuits. Now we're Googling severance packages. And that fear isn't an overreaction." Sources confirm that ABC has frozen internal budgets, canceled future segments, and put a major promo campaign for The View on hold with no return date. Security around the studio has doubled, not because of physical danger, but because the backlash is spreading like wildfire. Angry emails, protest posts, and callers are flooding ABC demanding that heads roll. Even longtime fans, the ones who used to defend every episode, are speaking out. One viral comment summed it up. "This show used to be about truth. Now it's about tearing down anyone who disagrees." Petitions demanding the resignations of Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin are gaining serious traction. Even ABC's board is reviewing their contracts, a dark signal in the media world. Meanwhile, Karoline hasn't said a word. No press conference, no social media, no interviews. She's playing the quietest yet most powerful move in a media war. Silence. And right now, that silence is louder than a front-page headline. Because in today's world, silence can be strategy. While The View falls apart live and online, Karoline Leavitt stands back and watches. And it seems she's only getting started. For years, big media outlets avoided stories that didn't match their angle, and silence protected them. But not this time. The legal firestorm between Karoline and The View is too big, too fast, and too serious to ignore. That's what sets this apart. This isn't celebrity drama. It's two federal lawsuits filed weeks apart targeting one show. And the damage is reaching the core of daytime TV, media standards, and the rules of live commentary. Even networks that normally support The View or avoid giving attention to conservative voices are now being pulled into this mess. Why? Because the facts can't be ignored. Because the public won't let this story die. And now even traditional media is being forced to cover it, whether they want to or not. Journalists at MSNBC, CNN, even the New York Times, are quietly asking media lawyers for insights, trying to catch up with a story that's running ahead of them. Because this isn't just a scandal. It's about how far defamation can go, how media power can be abused, and what free speech looks like when every opinion is permanent. One person, two lawsuits, one show, that's rare. What makes this historic is the boldness of it all. Karoline filed her second suit while the first was still live, right after more public insults. That's not just brave, it's a legal time bomb. Media law experts say this could set new rules, not just for TV, but for YouTubers, streamers, podcasters, and anyone with a mic and an audience. If Karoline wins, the bar for what counts as reckless speech online could change dramatically. Meanwhile, Twitter is a battlefield. Hashtags like Karoline Strikes Back, Sue the View, Media Accountability, Justice for Karoline, and Defend the Truth have taken over political feeds for 3 straight days. TikTok users are digging up old clips of The View, editing them with live legal commentary. YouTubers are hosting panel discussions with lawyers and media experts, breaking down court filings and every controversial quote. And here's the shift. Liberal voices are starting to break ranks. One well-known MSNBC analyst, usually quick to defend progressive media, posted, "Karoline may be controversial, but she's exposing a media issue we've ignored too long." That post exploded with thousands of shares and opened the floodgates to tough new questions, because the elephant in the newsroom is too big to ignore now. For years, The View and shows like it lived in a media bubble, where hot takes, personal attacks, and political digs were wrapped in applause, soft interviews, and positive coverage. But Karoline Leavitt just shattered that bubble, and for the first time, the spotlight is turning around, shining not on the guests, but on the hosts. Because this lawsuit isn't just about Karoline, it's about media responsibility, the line between opinion and lies, and the unchecked influence of powerful platforms. And now that the media is being forced to face itself, the reflection staring back is far uglier than they ever expected.
So it is the belief of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes to. There's also a case that went before the Supreme Court in 2020, Scala Law LLC versus the Customs, Bureau Protection. I would advise you to look at that case, and that's the legality that this White House was wrestling.
Now ABC is facing the nightmare scenario they never thought possible. Keep the view or shut it down. Inside network headquarters, panic has turned to paralysis. Multiple insider leaks say executives are locked in non-stop crisis meetings, trying to make a decision that could shape the future of the network. Sources say they're torn between 3 tough choices. First, suspend Whoopi, Joy, and Sunny temporarily. A surface-level PR move that might suggest accountability without really changing anything. But critics are calling it too little, too late. Second, settle the lawsuits quietly and painfully. That would mean handing over huge sums of money, offering public apologies, retracting statements live on air, and scrambling to stop the flood of sponsors walking out. It would be expensive, humiliating, and still might not be enough. Third, go nuclear, cancel The View altogether, and rebrand the time slot. And according to some insiders, this drastic option is gaining support because the damage may already be beyond repair. The urgency is real. ABC's ad sales are reportedly in free fall, with major brands pulling deals almost overnight. One source claims a 7-figure contract vanished just 24 hours after the second lawsuit dropped. Another big advertiser issued a blunt statement. "We will not associate with programming under active defamation litigation." Trust in the show has collapsed. Viewers who once cheered for bold opinions are now calling for firings. Legal experts are warning ABC, move fast or be dragged through court for years. The network once thought it was untouchable, that talk shows didn't face real consequences, but Karoline Leavitt just proved otherwise. Even media giants can fall, and accountability comes with a cost. So now the big question is on the table. Did Karoline just change the rules of media responsibility twice in 1 month? Is this the moment legacy media finally loses its unchecked grip? Should ABC cut ties before The View pulls the entire network under? Let us know in the comments. I'm watching, because this story is no longer just about Karoline. It's about everyone who's ever been laughed at, dismissed or silenced by a media system drunk on its own power. That system is breaking now, glitching, stalling, crumbling. Because Karoline didn't just fight back. She came armed with proof, legal, strength and aim so sharp, even the biggest media brand couldn't dodge it.
While I vowed to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House.
And what did The View do in response? They laughed. They mocked. They rolled their eyes like none of it mattered. But now, they're scrambling, trying to fix it all with rushed apologies and desperate PR moves, praying the backlash fades with the next episode. Meanwhile, Karoline isn't blinking. No interviews, no press tour, no victim act. She's letting the facts speak, and the facts are roaring louder than ever. So before you scroll past this story, stop and think. If one young conservative woman, without a corporate army behind her, can shake a billion-dollar media empire twice, what does that really say about how fragile the system is? What does it say about where the real power is shifting? That's why this moment matters. Not just for Karoline, not just for Whoopi, but for everyone watching from the sidelines, wondering if this is finally the start of something different. A reset, a moment where truth punches back. So here's your final call. Smash that like button if you're done with media hypocrisy and elite echo chambers. Subscribe if you're ready to. Stay 10 steps ahead of the spin they're desperate to control. And share this with someone who still thinks The View is harmless daytime fluff. Because it's not. It's turned into a live wire legal disaster dressed in studio lights. And whatever you do, don't look away. Because this isn't just about lawsuits anymore. It's a fight over who gets to control the story. And right now, Karoline Leavitt isn't just in the fight, she's flipping the script. Stay tuned, subscribe. Because if The View thinks this is over, they're in for a brutal wake-up call.